G'day folks, welcome to this playthrough of the Battle for Normandy Deluxe Edition. This is the bloody Omaha scenario. So it's the first scenario in the scenario book, setting up on Omaha Beach, and I'm actually partway through this already. There you go. I'm about to start the PM turn on the 7th of June. So I've gone through the landing phase. There are 3 landing phases. All your units land, mainly company size. And once that phase is over, you form up your units, if you can, back into their battalions. And you've got hex and counter goodness thereafter. So here I am. What am I now? You play through the AM turn, then the PM turn on the 6th of June. Then there's a night turn, an AM turn again. So that's 4 turns done, and this is the situation. So I don't know. I don't know how I'm progressing here. The Germans certainly look to have the Americans boxed in. It wasn't really too much of a bloody affair on Omaha. Yes, some losses, but then replacements coming back. Things are looking okay. I think both sides feel okay. The Americans haven't really broken out. The Germans have moved all their 352nd infantry battalions to form a perimeter of sorts around the beachhead, and here is where we are. Now, just for this scenario, I'll zoom out very briefly to show you the scenario limitations. You can see these flags. This is all set up in the vassal scenario. This is, I will also point out, the original first edition vassal scenario. They're still working on the deluxe edition. But yeah, so I need to capture Trevier and Isigny-sur-Mer out in the west here. By the 10th of June. It's currently the 7th, so I've got a couple of days to get it done. In my favour is the fact that there are no German reinforcements in this scenario. All right, so what you see for the Germans is it, which is a bit scary because, as I said, the Germans are feeling pretty happy right now. They're holding. This is it. There's nothing else. So if the Americans kind of break through to the west, there's not much stopping them getting to Isigny-sur-Mer. You've got the Corps headquarters out here, divisional headquarters here. That's their replacements. I am learning as well. So that's the other thing to take into account here as you watch through this. It is just a learning scenario. All right, so let's get moving. And we are at the start of the PM turn. So the first thing we do is we flip Allied artillery units back to their ready side just by clicking this little button up here. We then get to the Allied movement phase. Yeah, it's interesting. I've got this beach corridor here that I can kind of move around. And you'll notice these guys have 8 movement points. I got a special replacement roll on this turn, and I was able to motorize a division. That's why they have those additional movement points. Okay, so what am I going to try and do? You can't move any zone of control to zone of control. So these units are kind of penned in here. You've got a stacking limit of 6. I've got a little infantry ranger. It's a ranger company from the landing sitting there. I'm just trying to hit this western. I'll clear the move markers. Hit this western side of the German defences and try and push through. And what's the best way to do that? It costs all my movement. These are bluff hex sides. It's going to cost all my movement to cross those bluffs. I can't kind of go 1, 2, 3 and then across. You've got to start and then move across. That said, it would be good to kind of, in effect, infiltrate down the beach. Infiltrate, exploit. That's only 1 movement point for this infantry, so I can kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then stop there. Engineers would be good down here. They had a plus. I think they had a +1 modifier against strong points. There's some more strong points out here, so maybe keeping them in that area. It's kind of hard to see where the draws are. So see these little gaps in the bluff hex site. This ignores the bluff for the purposes of movement. So I can freely move between here and freely move between there and so forth. But it's hard to see unless I'm actually removing the counters. So what am I going to do? Let's get that's first division, so he should be out on the right. So I'm actually going to move him in a moment. What I will do is get my infantry up to there. And the reason I'm doing that is when you exit an enemy zone of control, as this recon unit is about to do, you pay +2 movement points. But you don't pay that cost if you're leaving a unit behind in the hex. I'll double check that rule. Is it did the unit have to start there? If a unit begins the turn there, and at least one unit stays in the hex. Yeah, so it doesn't matter if the unit that is holding the line moved there earlier. It negates the +2. Good. So that means that this unit can negate that +2 movement and kind of go one along this primary road. Oops. 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 4.5, and they'll stop there. Okay, that kind of frees up some space for another infantry division to go 1, 2. Sorry, it's 1 into the beach, 2, 3 into the. This is all farmland. This is bocage down here. So looking at all this farmland, which is still bocage and farmland are very similar, but this bocage terrain down here has a much more punitive combat modifier. Okay, so trying to get an attack here. This stack here is kind of it's unfortunate. I'll say that much. What I'm going to do is move my ranger company across that bluff hex side there onto the beach. Just get them out of the way so that I can make room for my engineers to come up and over. I don't really need the engineers in this combat. They're just adding a decent attack strength of 3. That's why I'm doing that. This is artillery. I can now land this assortment of artillery onto the beach. I will move this artillery up. I'll move that artillery up. I'll move these guys out of the way in a moment. Sorry, when I do move that artillery, they are moved. Okay. But these guys are mechanized, and so I believe they're not marked as moved. Like I said, I'm learning the rules. These are little intricacies that I may get wrong. I think it's mechanized artillery. They don't flip up on landing. What else? Any unit with a movement allowance may move blah 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 when non-mechanized units move. Yes, so they're mechanized, so they're allowed to move and fire. Okay, so they've moved up, but they are not mechanized. What that does, it just gives me a bit of room to land. I probably don't need it. 3, 4. Let's move the engineers. 1, 2. Actually, let's just get them across the beach there like that. So they've moved their entire movement across the beach. Now I can land this artillery and the beach. These are the assault boxes. They're clear. So you can see units arrive and they flow down the assault boxes to the beach. It's a bit of a queue forms. It hasn't been too problematic. It's been pretty reasonably okay to understand. Okay. Now, I don't really, this doesn't really matter so much. I don't really need to clear the situation out the east. I've just got some small units here holding. Yeah. I need to focus on this situation out here, and I'd like to get Okay, so I've got two. I was moving these tank companies because these are broken down, as in they're breakdown companies. And what I'd like to do is build them back up again. And to do that, I think they need to be adjacent to their headquarters. So, or a headquarters of their core. So I need two or more companies stuck together and adjacent to their parent division HQ, or adjacent to a core headquarters. But only on the 6th of June are they freed of that. So I think I have to wait because it's a core tank battalion, I think. So I don't think they can actually, yeah. So in lieu of that, what can I do? Look, I just need one to move in, and then what we'll do down here is we'll move. I've got more infantry companies here, so I'm going to try and reform these infantry companies. Crikey, they're really expensive for stacking. So this company here, if I can try and find the draw, yeah, one. I think it's one along Primary Road for non-mech, and then two, and move this infantry over to here. Okay, so they're now combined. That occurs at the end of the movement phase, not during movement. So only after all movement is complete. Okay, so they will combine to form a reduced battalion. All right. So the little orange triangle there means they've moved. Okay, I need to get some more forces into here. I'm thinking this battalion. Oh, here we go. We've got another unit here. They're going to go 1, 2. So I'm forming a full strength battalion. Now, I did name these. You can actually, when you're setting up, you can name the unit. So you can see here I've got 2 companies of the 1st battalion. 20. No, what is it? 1st battalion. 26. 1st division. So I'll form these. I don't think you have to. It's just for a bit of thematic flavour. I don't think they have to be from the actual battalion. All right, need to push here. Although I know this is also reduced, but let's prioritise this here. Oops. Moving things around by accident. All right, so I've got 6, 16, 17, 18. I'm getting 2 more. Here we go. These guys haven't moved yet. Can they get there? Crikey, trying to manage 1, 2, 3, 3.5. Yep, so this reduced battalion here going 1 across the beach and then 2 into a clear. It's a clear hex there. It's a town, but you use other terrain in the hex, which is clear. So 1, 2, 3 or 2.5, and then 3.5, 4.5 into the beach. Okay, that's okay. Frees up this tank unit for operations elsewhere. Now there are mandatory attacks. Hey JP, you know what? Funny thing, I punched it all out and clipped my counters. Took me about a week to clip them all. They're all nicely sorted, and then tried to set the maps up, and they didn't even come close to fitting on my table. So I like to clip the counters as a way of sort of processing the game. Helps me kind of look at what the formations are, how they're organised, things like that. Okay, so this is artillery on the beach. We've got artillery. This is we've got 2nd Division artillery arriving already. Don't ask me why. Core artillery back here. These are the engineers who've already moved. There's mandatory attacks. I'm going to soak off this requirement for this unit by attacking it with artillery. Then I'm going to try and get an attack on this unit here and try and push through there, which means I'm going to try to... I can't. I've got to be careful because there's 1st Division and 29th Division mixing together here, and I can't do that. So what I'm going to do is move this tank unit across into here. And we'll aim for, I don't know what's under there. I'm trying not to inspect stacks. But I've got 17. This is independent, so I can say 18, 19, 20 and move the first division unit. Oh, get them to attack elsewhere. Soak off. I don't have to, so you don't. There's no mandatory requirement to attack strong points, so I don't have to attack that. What else? I'm going to soak off this one with artillery. Try and soak off this one, and try and hit this point in the center here. I'm trying to get across this location here, across this bridge, and then probably try and soak this off as well. When I say soak off, sort of like hit it with artillery to attack it, which meets the mandatory attack requirements. All right, what else have I got? They've moved. They're going to combine. I've got my HQ here. Artillery. A lot of artillery sitting behind the line. Here's a reconnaissance unit that's already moved. That's about it. Everyone's moved. I've got the 29th Division HQ sitting a bit too far to the right, but that's okay. You can see they're motorised. The little truck there appears when they become motorised. Okay, movement phase is done. Now I'm going to move into the combat phase. You can see the counters are just, they're a little bit too big and bulky for these hexes. They really overlap the hexes. Anyway, little complaint. Let's get some combats going on. And I'm going to start over here with 6, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 on 5. All right, so we're looking at 4 to 1 odds, and there's no CRT in this module, so I have to get my actual cardboard CRT from the game. So I'm looking at 4 to 1. Combat phase is fairly straightforward. Workout odds ratio. The thing that tricks me is there's combat. You must spend combat supply points to add ground support, naval gunfire, artillery support. There is in this scenario because it's an introductory scenario. There is no air points, AA points, or naval units in this scenario at all. So you're just focusing on artillery. So let's do that. Okay. A lot of 29th Division. And artillery, basically just adds its, if I understand it correctly, and again, I'm really worried that I'm playing things wrong, they add their attack strength directly to the total attack or defense strength. So if I've got, 20 on 5, I can add, that's 9, or I can add 6, I'm looking for a 4, and those to add 10. Now there is a limit. 1 artillery unit may be committed for every battalion used in an attack. Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. They're reduced, but they still count. So I can commit up to 4. I thought there was some limits as well. They have to be, the only artillery it's allowed to support are organic to the division or attached units at the core level. Yeah, there's a couple. There's a lot of little, rules. Like you're only allowed this much in this case, and only allowed this much in this case. Things like that. But I think I'm okay. 4. Yeah. Okay. So now I've got 30 to 5, which is now 6 to 1, which are pretty good odds. The table only goes up to 7, but it's quite a wild CRT. The results really vary quite a lot. It's a D10 roll, and I think D10 combat systems are often much more chaotic and random, I guess. But now you add modifiers. So I'm looking at, and I will record this 6 to 1. I've now got combat taking place in farmland, which is a -1 modifier. I have combined arms, so I've got tank units. That white dot. Double check the combined arms rule, because I have been playing with it, but I'm just going to double check that I am playing it correctly. Combat modifiers. Reconnaissance. If a recon unit is attached to an opponent's units, I can inspect stacks. Night turns. Combined arms. When an attacking player has both an infantry type and a tank type unit, they get an optional +1. And the defender can negate that with white or red dots. If the attacker has artillery support and the defender does not, there's an additional modifier. So the defender, in this case, these guys here, they're going to add their own support. All right, so they're going to fire. That's okay, and they're going to add 3 to their defense. Gives it a defense of 8, which means it's now 30 on 8, which is 3 to 1. Okay, that really brings it down. But I do get that combined. The optional combined arms modifier. Yeah. Yes. Just checking. Yep. Okay. So we're looking at 3 to 1, and I'm sorry I can't share the CRT. But hey, asynchronous. Looking at 3 to 1. -1 for terrain, +1 for combined arms. Just checking if there's anything else that I'm missing. Yeah, I think that's it. So net 0 modifier on a very big D10 roll. And it's a 7, 3 to 1, which is a 1R result. So they take step loss and they retreat 1 space. And attackers can advance, which they'll do. Okay, now you can see that draw there. Okay, I said I was going to try and soak that off, so I'm just going to spend... okay, can my spotters... You may have to have spotters. Some interesting rules around spotters. Spotter must be able, spotter is defined as any friendly unit within 2 hexes of the target hex. That's it. Doesn't have to be from the division. So this 29th Division unit is going to spot this unit for this 2nd Division artillery. The way it works when it's just artillery is you determine a hit number, which is the attacker's strength, 4. You subtract the terrain modifier, in this case 1 for farmland, so it goes down to 3. My target is 3. And that's it. I need to roll a 3 or less. No. So they've fired. Done. Now, I think I also can, if I want, maximum of 1 artillery or naval unit. Yeah, maximum of 1. Hex may only be attacked once per combat phase. Yep, so you can't do multiple attacks. Okay, so going to try and get an attack off here as well, but not with that 1st Division unit. So I've got 3, 10, 20 on 4, and I'll add to that 20. Let's get that, and that to make it 30 on 4. Do they have artillery? Yes, they do. They'll boost that to a defense of 7. So I've got 30 on 7, which is 4 to 1. Now they're in a wooded area, which is a -2 modifier. So looking at 4 to 1, -2. They have combined arms. Okay. Tank and infantry together, so +1. So it's a net -1 modifier. 4 to 1. No other modifiers. Ooh, so there we go. 4 to 1. 2 -1 is going to be a 1. Combat is no effect. All right, so this is what I'm saying. This is 4 to 1 odds, and it really ranges. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's almost a 50% chance of an attacker step loss at 4 to 1 odds. And it doesn't change at 7 to 1. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. So yeah, it's really quite an attacker punishing CRT. So no effect there. I did say I had to soak off here, so let's get this artillery. To attack, it's 3 minus 1 is 2, or it just misses. Okay. I'm going to try and get an attack, soak off this as well. We'll use this second division artillery. 3 minus 1 for the farm is 2. Fail. All right, so I've met that. They've got range as well, so I'm keeping an eye on the range in the top left of these units. And I want to soak off this requirement as well. So these units will be attacking into here. I don't want to attack this unit or this unit, so I've got to attack this with artillery to meet that requirement. I'll just hit it with this. 3 minus 1 is 2 or less. That's a miss as well, which frees up the rest of my artillery for either defensive purposes or hitting here. Now here I've got 11, 12, 13, 18, 28. 28. All right, 28, 35, 35, 35, let's go 35, let's throw everything in, 35, 41. Let's use all my artillery. 41 on 6. 41 on 6, which is just 6 to 1. You round everything down. So I've got 6 to 1 odds in the farm, minus 1. Combined arms cancelled by their presence of their tank unit there. So it's just a minus 1 for the terrain. And that's it. Oh, do they have artillery? Yes, they do. They're going to add 3 to make it 9. So I've got 41 to 9, 18, 36. Now it's just 4 to 1 with a minus 1 modifier. 4 to 1 with a minus 1 modifier. 4 to 1 net 8 is 2 step losses. Okay, so we will place an infantry breakdown. They're down to their last step. Oh, you know what? And then we'll flip them and they're done. Every time you take a step loss, and this is the rule I'm going to keep forgetting, so they're eliminated, you got to track it. So that's an infantry step and an armor step. What else has happened? I think I lost an infantry step there as well, didn't I? I'm going to forget that. I hate those kind of rules because I always forget. I always forget. I like games where I just take the units off and I don't have to track step losses. This is important. It's very important because you get to 5 and you get a replacement. What did I do? I moved the replacement marker instead of the step loss marker. It went from 2 to 3. Okay, so that should have gone 1. Once it gets to 5, it bumps up. And then it goes 2. And step loss was 1 instead of that. And they're tiger losses. They're special. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember the rules around these, but these are special step losses. Okay. So when you get to 5 step losses, you get a replacement point. And it's really hard to remember. Hopefully I've done that right. Okay, and did we lose this? We did lose an American step loss, didn't we? So American step loss goes up. Sorry for all the scrolling. Okay, so two step losses, but no retreats. You can see the default breakdown company is for the 116th Panzer Division. They all look like that in this vassal module. Okay, so you can just keep them generically like that. If I create a breakdown unit over here, you can see 116th Panzer Division. So they all look like that. So artillery is all pretty much fired. Got 29th Division over here, another 29th there. Rangers really caught up in point to hoc, unfortunately. What else? I've got 2nd Division artillery here. I've got some core. I'm just wondering if I should attack here. 5. Nah, we'll just hold. Okay, so that's the end of the Allied movement phase. I'll just check. Oh, we now have the Allied mechanized movement phase. Okay. And they can move at half their movement. I might, I'm just thinking, do I try and get these companies together? No, again, that's a problem. What do I do? Alright, let's move them into there. Not a lot I can do, really. It's just... Yeah, okay. So, sorry, I should have clarified. Before doing combat, at the end of the movement phase, I'm replacing these three with a full strength... what were they? I can't remember. 218, 226. Yeah, I feel like this is the thematic battalion. So they've been consolidated together back into a battalion. Had to pull them back to the beaches to their division to do it, but yeah, got it done. Okay, now we get to the German play turn. They flip their artillery units to their ready side, and we have the German movement phase. Now there's not a lot. There's not a lot they can do. Yes, I'm mindful the Americans are kind of moving down here. I could, yeah, I could try and pin them in if I just pull back there. That's vulnerable, but yeah, we'll see what we do. Holding in the forest, which is decent. Holding in the farm, which is decent. Holding in the woods here, which is decent. Look, I don't think there's not much for them to do. Keeping my artillery ready for defensive purposes mainly. I think they did pretty well that last American turn. So we'll hold. Oh yeah, nothing much for the Germans to do but hold. Don't need to, like, just that little shift there. Is it coastal batteries? This is a coastal battery facing the wrong way. It's facing to the east. I've got my artillery in good range here, so you can actually highlight the range. Pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. And pretty happy with that. Yeah, they can hit right along the edge there. So yeah, look, nothing happening. No German units anywhere behind the lines, unless I've forgotten about one somewhere. Nope. So look, all the German units in this scenario are pretty much on the front, and they're just trying to hold for as long as they can, pretty much. So German combat phase, no, tempting to attack here, but no, can't attack here. I can get 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I wouldn't even get 2 to 1. No. Tempting, but I don't know what's under there. I've got 8. There's some units under there, I know. And again, the Germans just kind of need to preserve their strength. I have been counterattacking. There are some good early opportunities because the Americans really tried to race out, and they brought a company out to about here. And the Germans counterattacked, and then they counterattacked again and pushed back even further. So the Germans have counterattacked in this vicinity over the preceding turns, just not this turn. All right, so German mechanized movement phase. Having said that, there's mandatory attacks. Yeah, of course. If I'm sitting here, I have to attack. So I might want to rethink about where I'm moving to, just giving up a bit of ground. Alright, so if a unit is in open farmland, okay, so units in a forest don't have to attack, so they don't have to attack. They will, unless I pull them back 1 hex. I might just do that. They're in a forest, that's a strong point. Strong points don't have to attack. I believe these guys will. So maybe look, I can see this formation here. They're also adjacent. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's get an attack. These 3 stacks here of the 352nd. Are they allowed to join in? I don't think they are. Okay, so I've got 6, 10, 12 on 6. So I've got, oh, they've got, do you get combined arms benefits on defense? I'm not sure. Here's my tank. I don't need a tank. I've got these formats. So I will get combined arms, but it's cancelled by them. Okay. So I've got 2 to 1. I'm not going to fire any artillery. So I want to preserve it. So I've got 2 to 1. First Division, they have no artillery left. Got some core artillery. They're going to use it. Plus 6 makes it 1 to 1. 12 on 12 defense, 1 to 1. A -1 modifier for the farm land is a 4, 3, 1 to 1, 3. It's just a 1-step loss among the attackers. We'll take it from here. So it's now a breakdown unit. And they go to the eliminated box. So unfortunate there, but it could have worked out well. A lot of good results. Okay, so I shouldn't have done that, should I? Because now I've got to soak off this. They'll pull back. Okay, what am I going to do here? Hold on. They'll pull back and they'll pull back. They'll stop there. These guys have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to exit a Zoc, and then 5, 6 back into there. Okay, so I don't have to attack these areas. I do have to attack here to soak off that attack, which will be just a 2 or less. Hey, it's a hit, which flips that. Yeah, okay. German artillery. So that's a German, that's an American infantry step loss. The Germans also, crikey, like I said, I'm going to keep forgetting these step losses. Sorry, it's annoying to have to scroll all the way over there. I don't know how else I can do it. And these guys are in the open, so they will pull back to here, so they don't have to attack. Yeah. Save the artillery as well. Alright, that's the end of the German combat phase. German mechanized movement phase, I'll hold. Now normally here there's an allied armed reconnaissance air attack phase, but there's no air in this unit, so we end the turn, and that's the end of the PM turn. So that's the end of the 7th of June. We move to the 8th of June, and we have the night. Okay, so yeah, when you move advanced turn marker, this module is pretty good. It adds all your reinforcements for you. You just grab them and move them down to the beach. It's a night turn now, and the night turn phase is a bit different. The first thing we have to do is determine the weather. Now the weather is it's a really interesting weather system. You have weather forecasts for several days ahead. Is there a weather? Yeah, there is a weather table. No, that's the forecast. That's a weather forecast table. And then there's also a weather modification table. So at the start of each day, whilst the weather for this day, for example, is forecast to be something or other, which I need to find out. What is the weather for this day? Per 8.1. Okay, so 8.1 tells me what the weather's going to be. And it tells me on the 8th of June it is cloudy. So this goes to cloudy. And then we knew that was coming up. And then on the day we rolled for the weather. We rolled 2d6. It's a 6. On a 6, less than 7, it degrades 1 row. So it becomes overcast. Back to overcast again. Which has no impact on this scenario at all. Unless we get into sort of this vicinity, because there's no air units, no naval units. Unless we get into heavy storm, it won't really affect this scenario. So that's very unlikely. Actually, we do have heavy rain coming tomorrow on the 9th of June. Okay, so that's weather roll done. Check. We now do a random event determination. We roll a d6 on a 1 to 3. There is no random event. We do a Mulberry Harbour construction, and I think we just roll a d6 here. Mulberry. It's really easy, but I've forgotten. 19.4.1. Okay, what do we do here? We roll a d6 to determine the progress. 2. And I take my Mulberry track and I advance that up 2. Once this reaches 21, so you flip it, I think. No, what do? You go to the plus 10. Once it reaches 21, the Mulberry Harbour is ready. Again, doesn't matter for this scenario, but I'm learning how to build the harbour. And yeah, pretty straightforward. It's not... I just saw your comment, Arshneg. I mean, it's a big footprint. There's a reason I'm playing on Vassal. It's because the maps don't fit. But it's not... The rulebook is presented in a really weird way as well. It's like the game... I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, here we go. So this is the... let me show you the contents. It starts with like... Game turn, yep. Zone and control, great. Stacking rules, good to have up the front. And then it goes straight to supply and headquarters and weather and replacements. I think this is the weirdest place for these rules. Because the supply and headquarters rules talk about movement and weather is just... maybe that's a decent place for it, I don't know. But... yeah, usually 90% of rulebooks, supply rules go right at the very end, after you've learned about movement and terrain, after you learn about combat and so forth. So then you go through movement and terrain, and then you've got air allocation. And again, this is a really weird place for air allocation because it comes between the movement rules and the combat rules. And like I said, there's three pages of air allocation rules before you then get into combat. Then this makes sense, and then you've got the kind of administrative stuff, the engineering phase companies. Then this, and this is important. Yeah, look, I just found it very, very unusual. It's unusually structured, just having supply up front. But anyway. It is, 40 pages long, basically, of rules, but it feels very familiar. There's a lot of little chromy stuff, like I said, that I'm going to forget. A lot of terrain. There's a terrain effects chart, and then there's a special rules section for terrain, which adds information that you need to know. All right, back to where I am. I've done weather. I've done the Mulberry roll. Allied naval movements. There are no naval movements. Replacements and reinforcements. And let's try and get this right. I place my reinforcements. Again, the Germans get none. 2nd Division is moving straight down the middle. They're going to try and land here. Okay. I've got some core artillery landing. Got a reconnaissance unit. You're allowed 4 units per assault hex, but you've got to be careful. I'm going to move one out here actually, because they have to have space to land. Right, so these guys all have to be able to move onto the beach. So it means all these units on the beach have to get out of the way for those guys. All right, so the reinforcements are placed. There are no German reinforcements. All right, Allied replacements. Okay, so I've got a roll for... There's a table for replacements. I roll a d10, and I I get, in this scenario, do I get half the number or do I half the die roll replacements? Half the replacements shown, rounded down. Okay, so I roll a d10 for the allies. Oh, 10. Okay, so they get a lot. They get 3 armor, 4 infantry. So 3 armor, 4 infantry, halved round down. So 2 and 1. All right, that's not bad. Then I've been tracking the remnant losses along the way, and there are none. There were none. Okay. The Germans do the same thing. They roll a d10, but theirs is divided into June, July, August. So a 5 gives them 1 armor, 1 infantry, halved, round down is nothing and nothing. It is halved, round down, replacements halved, rounded down. Yeah, wow. But luckily the Germans, well, I don't know if it's lucky, they've taken, I feel like that's too many, but they get 3 infantry replacements. We do the Allies first, and if I'm doing this correct, then the replacements are pretty easy. You got a lot of flexibility. Replacements. It's very early. Again, it's page 11 of a 40-page rulebook, which is usually at the end. But replacement points, there are 2 types. Those accumulated from previous day. Okay. Using the points. Okay, replenish on map units. To replenish a reduced battalion, the unit must be in supply. It may receive replacements if it's in an enemy zone of control. It just replenish at 1 step. Spend the RPs, place the unit. Yeah, that's it. So it's basically, what do I want to rebuild? I've got a tank armor shift here. Let's build that up to full strength. Hey presto, that's it. I've got 2 infantry replacement steps. Let's go 1, 2. That's it. All right, so pretty easy to build those replacements. The Germans have got 3 infantry here. Let's go 1. Let's rebuild 1 over there. I've got a few losses here. 1. Okay, so how do I what I'm trying to do here is rebuild. Spend the necessary RPs. 1. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and take a 2-step unit. Let's take these guys and bring them over. I have to place them next to the division headquarters or core HQ. So the division headquarters is here. Let's put them there. Done. So it's pretty straightforward. The hardest part is tracking those step losses. It's really annoying, and I know I'm just going to forget that rule, throw it out the window. Which is annoying because it's very important. That's how you get so many replacements. Now the Germans also have their Feldersatz battalion. So these are under here 5 replacements. They move with the headquarters. They can be applied to any reduced infantry of that division that is in supply. Or can be used in the same way that turn-based replacements. They can't be used to rebuild eliminated units, only to replenish reduced ones. Okay, well this is a remnant. This is a reduced battalion, and I think I'm allowed. Maybe I'm not allowed. I think I'm allowed to rebuild. I'm replenishing a reduced. May not be used to rebuild or eliminated, only to replenish reduced ones. Does that count as a reduced unit? If I'm building up a remnant from a remnant to a reduced battalion? I think it's a fair use, so I'm going to say yes. And that costs, how do I reduce this? Change label to 4. 4. Oops. All right, I changed, I don't know, okay, I don't know how I did that. Oops, changed the wrong, okay, weird, there's 2 labels. First one is the number inside, second one is the number above, 4. Done. Is there a limit to how much I can rebuild? Because that was rebuilt with replacement points. Can I then... These are some of the rules that I'm just not sure about. To any reduced infantry that is in general supply, used in the same way, they may not be used to rebuild, only to replenish reduced ones. I don't know, it feels like I might be pushing it if I try that. I've got these 2 as well. These are reduced. Using the same logic, but where am I eliminated? I don't have any. These are all strong points, so I'll move them out of the way. Okay, so it will keep the rest for later. That's the replacement segment done. Now we get to the air allocation phase. We skip this entirely, and we get to the Allied Knight turn. There's an allied engineering phase. They can do various things, but basically in this scenario the engineers don't really need to do anything. They just want to keep attacking and lend their attack modifiers to strong points. The Germans then we flip allied artillery units to their ready site. Click that button, they all flip over, great. And we do night movement. Now the night movement phase, most units will have half movement. Germans can use full when moving on primary roads and highways. Allies can use their full when travelling on highways only. And that's it. So half movement rate. I can move across here. Right, it says all my movement rate. I don't think there's a limit on moving across. The rule is for a bluff, move across a bluff in any weather except heavy rain and storm using all their movement points. Doesn't say you can't move at night. So that's all my movement, which is 3 at night, and the Rangers have crossed that bluff. All right. These guys can't move from Zoc to Zoc, so they're kind of stuck there now. They tried to infiltrate, and they've been called out. I'm going to keep. So if I attack across that river, it is. My attackers have their attack strength halved. These guys are also in a wooded area, which will be a -2 modifier. And there's a -1 die roll modifier for night. That said, I kind of need to keep the pressure on. Just going to move up to here, move up to there. These guys are going to go 1 to the beach, 2, 3. So this is again a farmland. They're going to go 1. Hold on, we'll got to move this artillery off the beach. 1 and there, and they've moved. They'll go there, and they've moved, which lets all these units come onto the beach. They will go 1, 2, and they've moved, which lets these units come onto the beach. All right, so we've cleared the beach. I should be using cleared markers as well, so I can keep track of these things. Okay, that's annoying. Look, I wouldn't mind getting some additional attacks in, but where? Here, certainly. And maybe here again. Yeah, we'll try it. We'll try and soak off that. Oh, night turns you don't have to soak off as well. So I don't have to worry about mandatory attacks. In fact, what I need to do is get the 1st Division unit out of the way. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's free. Then I have to. I'm going to come down here 3. I don't like the idea of leaving that, that armor unit there by itself. Move the engineers down? No, I need 29th Division. So, oh, here we go. They're motorized, so they get an extra 2 movements. 1, 2. They don't have to pay the 2 cost. Also because it's night turn. And then 3, 4, they're moving there. And then ditto, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just to split things up a little bit. Just so I'm trying to protect my armor. Yeah, all right. Oh, thanks, JPJ. Yeah, look, it's funny. When I immediately finished Italy 43, I really didn't have much interest in replaying it straight away, but now that I've just taken a couple of days, I'm intrigued. Alright, so I've got a bit of flexibility here. That's a big stack. Maybe I'll pull them out, push them in, push them in, push them in. Push down here and threaten to cross the bridge. Hold there. They can't go too far. They're going to have to hold there. Okay, these guys are all motorized. So I'm just going to create a bit of space for them to come in. They can come in, they can land, and they'll hold there. Yeah, don't have to attack across a stream or river either. That's another rule. So the Allies have got a lot of artillery to soak off those attacks, so they can be aggressive. All right, that's movement done. Now let's get to the night combat and artillery phase. Okay, so I don't have to attack here, but I kind of want to. It's actually only a -1 across a bluff. So I've got 4. I've got 5 plus and 1 is 6. So I'm looking at 3 to 1. This actually isn't so bad. 3 to 1 here. It'll be well actually. I think it's only if all attacking units are attacking across the bluff. So this unit isn't. So it negates the -1 modifier. It's just the -1 for the farmlands. That's actually not a bad attack. So we'll go this one first. We're looking at 3 to 1. 29th Division. Oh, with the Rangers. I'm sure they can bring Rangers in. Independent breakdown company. So I've got 6, 3 to 1. They're going to bring in 29th Division artillery. Not too much of it. Need to save some. Let's say those. Gives me 12. Yeah. The Germans are going to throw some of their own artillery in to make that a defense of 5, which brings it down to 2 to 1 with a -1 modifier. Ugh. 2 to 1. 2 to 1. 1 is just 1 attacker step loss. Let's kill off the Ranger. I think Rangers count as an infantry step loss. So that goes to 5. Now this resets. Yeah. Okay. Unlike attack. All right, let's try here. So these guys are half. We've got armor is not allowed. They are not allowed to attack across the stream. They're prohibited from moving. I think that means they're prohibited from attacking across it as well. So we're looking at the engineers can. So look at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20, 22 on 5. 22 on 5, 22, 25, 29, 29, yeah, okay, 29 on 5, 29 on 5, Do they have any artillery? Yes, and I think they'll use it. This looks important. So that gives them 29 on 8, which is just 3 to 1. They still bring the combined arms, which is... Oh, it's a night turn as well. So another -1 modifier. So +1 for combined arms, -2 for the woods. So I've got +1, -2 for the woods, -1 for combat during a night turn. And I think that's it. So it's a net -2, 3 to 1, -2, 7. 3 to 1, 7 is going to be a 1 hit and a retreat. All right, so we will advance into there. All right, it feels like 1 hex at a time, and I've only got until the 10th of June to capture. I feel like causing step loss. That's a German infantry step loss before I forget. Yeah. Okay. Up here, do I attack him in the woods? Yeah, I've all set up for it, haven't I? So I've got 11, 12, 13, 18, 23, 23, 23, use both of those, 30 on 4, running low on artillery, 30 on 4, just in range, okay. They didn't move, did they? I don't know why they've got... Oh, maybe they did. 30 on 4, no artillery to use. All right, 30 on 4 is... Wow, 5, 6, 7 to 1. Combined arms. So I've got 7 to 1. +1 for combined arms. -1 because it's night. -2 for the village. So 7 to 1. -2 is 8. This is punishing. 1 attacker loss. And 3 defender losses. That wipes them out. Wow. So they are eliminated. That's 3 German infantry step losses. So 1, 2, 3 gives them 1 replacement. And they'll advance. It's a shame. Big. It's a shame because it's a big combat result, but on a space that doesn't facilitate any breakthrough. Again, night combat is not mandatory, so I don't have to attack here. Don't have to attack here, but I think I will with 21, 30 on 5. So I've got 6 to 1. They've got no artillery. 6 to 1. I've got combined arms. +1. Night. -1. In a wood farmland. -1. So it's a net -1, which is a 6, which is 2 step losses. And they'll have to lose 1 and 1. And they stay in the hex. But that is an armor loss and an infantry loss. Step loss 1 gives me an... Oh, wrong one. Step loss 1 and 1 infantry. Okay. Yeah, that's doing okay. And again, no combat required over here. So that's the end of that Allied night turn. German night turn. German engineering phase. Where are my engineers? They are just got wiped out. Yep, they just got wiped out. So there go the engineers. There goes my chance of entrenching. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned there. Not put in the front line, but I was kind of a bit desperate. Flip German units to their ready side. German night movement. Okay. Happy? Not too happy, but what else can I do? Half movement. I don't know what to do here. I've got to put these guys. So the town there doesn't... Oh, it provides a -2. So I can go... I can't go far, can I? 1, 2. I'll hold there for now. So let me double check the rules around these replacements. So the Germans. Any reduced infantry type unit that is in general supply during any friendly movement phase. Yes. So I can just go, alright, I'm using one of them to flip you now back up to full strength. And you back up to full strength. Right. That's 2 points. Change the label. 2. Done. So they're diminishing. I think this is like the scenario's way of dealing with the limited capacity of the Germans. This is an armour step, so they can't replace that. And they're a 2-step unit up there. Okay, so look, again, Germans giving up a bit of ground, but also holding in other places. It's an armour step. Got to hold on to that. Okay, we'll hold there. And night combat, no, not this time. And artillery phase, I will hold my positions. So we advance to the AM turn, and turns are a bit more streamlined now. We flip Allied artillery to its ready side. Allied movement phase. All right, so let's try and hit this out on the right here. So let's go. Let's move in there. Can these guys go 1, 2? They don't pay to leave the hex, and then 3, and they'll join the combat as well. That should give me pretty good odds against that stack. Then tank units cannot cross that stream, so they're going to have to pull back. They'll pull back. The infantry will move across the stream. That costs them 2, all their movement. Wow, +2, sorry. So 2 + 2 is 4. They'll come across and try and hit this. We'll move some more of the 29th. I'd just like to relocate them out to the west. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Too many tanks in that hex. So where did they come from? I haven't been clearing movement trails. I think they came from there. So they'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and join that. Excellent. Okay. Right, so I'm designating, sorry. I'm going to put 1st Division out on the right, try and push 2nd Division through the centre here. Here we go. I think that's a draw in front of them, yep. So they can go 1, 2 along the road to there, and they're at the front lines. These guys, 1, 1.5, 2, 3, they're in the front line. So I'll get the 2nd Division attack with the 745th attachment to attack here, which lets me focus the 1st Division out on the right here. So they can go like that. They can go 1, 2, 3, 4 to leave a Zoc and then back down there. Problem is I don't have combined arms, so let's get... I can't do much about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't have to track across the stream, not forced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can threaten this. That's what I was going to do, didn't I? I forgot. In fact, they can go 5, 6, and the unit that was there will cross the river. 1, 2, 3, 4 to leave a zone of control, 5, 6 to cross that stream. All right. So they'll go straight from here to there, undermining the German position C. Okay. Second division, 1, 2, 3, and I'll stop there. Or get them to join. Got some crowded beaches. Where's the draw around here? Okay, so I can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Just getting off the beach pretty much. And 1, 2, stacking of 1. Let's move them there. Actually, 1, 2, 3. May as well join them in the attack. An extra point might help. More second division infantry. 1. I'll just go there. And these are all, range 8 artillery. Okay, let's see what happens. Got all of my artillery on the beaches now. Don't really want to move them because I want to be able to fire with them. So I've got a lot of attack potential. Let's see what happens. First thing I want to do is soak off this unit so I don't have to do a mandatory attack against it. I'm just going to fire 3, -1 is 2 or less, no hit. That lets me now focus all these units, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13. They're across a bluff, so they are, well, no effect. So I've forgotten the last 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 9, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I could throw in some artillery. Okay, let's do it. Let's add 3 to that to make it 24 to 5 becomes 4 to 1. 4 to 1. Now I've got combined arms +1, and it's farmland -1, which is a net 0 on the 4 to 1. Which is an 8, which is 2 defender step losses, which will wipe them out. And that's 2 German infantry steps. Get in the habit as soon as I make those step losses. All right, and that lets me advance. You cannot advance across a bluff unless you're a company, which they are not. So they advance. I can actually send them in as well. All right. That's okay. Optimistic. He's important. Okay. 29th Division. We've got 5, 7, 7, 14, 19. 19. I want to throw everything I've got. 19 and 12 is 31 on 5. They'll bolster it. 31 on 5, 31 on 8 is 3 to 1. 3 to 1. Combine arms +1, farmland -1. It's just 3 to 1. 3 to 1, 6 is just a 1 step loss and no retreat. Okay. Second division getting to the action. They've got 8 and 11 is 19. And they've got artillery. 19, 23, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Yeah, 29. And we'll hold them in reserve. 29 on 6 is 4 to 1. No artillery being used, so we just got 4 to 1. Combined arms +1, farmland -1, so just 4 to 1. 8 is a 2 step losses and a retreat. So that's a step loss, nothing to retreat. That's just the 1 infantry. The strong points don't count. So German step loss gives them a replacement. That's it. And we can advance, and we'll advance these guys down into there. Again, big combat, wiping out the defenders, but without much opportunity to push through. Just 1 hex advance too. All right, 1st Division. They will soak off here. They'll just send 3 -1. Oh, just miss. And then they'll send 21 into here. 21, 27, 28, 29, 30. Let's give it 30. And they're going to send some artillery in. 30 on 6, which is 5 to 1. No combined arms because it's negated. So it's just a net -1 for the farmland. So 5 to 1, -1 is 4, which is just 1 step. So they'll take that from that unit, and they are in trouble now. Okay, and that's it. Okay. Now, Allied mechanized movement phase. So I can go rush down the road to here. They can't move. I don't know. The division is now. The division is now motorized. I think it just means they get a +2. They're motorized, but they don't get the mechanized movement rate, I think. Yeah, no. Only units highlighted in yellow or light blue. Yep. So it's not motorized divisions. They've just got some trucks. Alright, so what else can I do? They're motorized, so they can move if they want. I can grab the town. Let's do that. That could be important. That's it. Yeah, I got a tank over here somewhere. Here it is. But they can't get far. A reconnaissance unit probably doesn't want to be stuck in there, but it's okay. Just holding that right flank, the east flank lightly. All right, that's it for the Allies. German play a turn. We flip German artillery over, and then German movement phase, and they got trouble. We have to pull back away from here. We have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the zone of control, 5, 6 across the stream, and they're done. What else? Same over here. Oh wow, I got a lot of trouble. What I can do, I can break some of these units down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to create a. What do I do? Pull. Yeah, I've got to pull them back across the river to save them. Actually, I can flip them with a point. Yep. They're going to be trapped. I don't know what to do here. I think that my arm is going to be trapped as well. So I've got to pull back and defend Trevier. So 1, same again here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know they went 1, 2, 3, 4. They didn't cross the stream. Sorry. So I can push them back into their 5, 6, just to kind of slow down the Americans as they advance. Holding here. In fact, I might move this artillery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half, and they've moved. It's really weird. The keyboard shortcut for German artillery is different to the keyboard shortcut for American artillery. Control F, Control M. It's really annoying. Okay. That's yeah, they can't get there in return, so they're not, they're safe for now. Yep. All right. Yeah, look, Germans feel like they're on the back foot, but they just look. There's just a long way to Sydney Samir. They're just running out of replacements, and they've moved, haven't they? All right. That's German movement done. German combat and artillery. Look, these guys. I think they're going to die. It's a shame to lose my tanks. Can't move Zoc to Zoc. I feel I need to abandon them and save my infantry. Sorry, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I can go 5, 6. 5, 6. I can move in there. Okay, so can I move now? Does a friendly unit negate that? One company may move Ezoc to Ezoc. So I can. Are they company? They're a one-step unit. I don't know. They pay 2. They can't move from Ezoc directly into another Ezoc. Is this? I don't think it counts as a company. It's just a heavily reduced battalion. Yeah, because one company has to be left behind, I think. So they're trapped. I think they're going to be trapped as well, but they'll slow down the advance. Look, these guys probably should pull back as well, because they're not doing anything out here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and they'll try and cross the Oral River and head around towards Trevier. That's what they've got to defend. So yeah, tension's starting to build for the Germans. Okay. All right, that is their movement phase done. Oh wait, they wait. Oh yeah. Oh, I've got to think about mandatory attacks. So where'd they come from? They came from here. They're just going to pull back to here. They are just going to 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I just pull back into Trevier? I've got this artillery, which can soak off maybe... Yeah, they can soak off that requirement. Might as well do that, I think. Force the Americans to attack here. I can just... where'd they come from? Show trail. They went 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think they've got to push in there. And we'll use that artillery to soak off that. And these guys are doomed. Alright, let's try it. Combat phase. These guys are firing here. 2 or less to hit. Nope. Not to worry. These guys... Oh, what do we do if... I remember reading what happens if you can't attack everyone you need to attack. It's... yeah. If a unit cannot move away from an enemy unit because they're surrounded, they don't have to attack. Okay, there you go. These guys also cannot move away. They can't cross the river because they're armoured. They can't cross here because it's Ezoc to Ezoc. So they cannot move away, so they are not required to attack. There you go. Done. And... movement phase, combat phase, mechanized, German mechanized movement phase. Again, trapped, can't do much. Oh, there's bicycle. There's a bicycle dudes. Fusiliers are the 352nd. I just noticed that. And done. End of turn. We move to the PM turn. You won this. Heliodorus won this. Oh, you own this title. I thought you said you won it. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. It'd be a good game to win. Right, PM turn. Flip Allied artillery to its ready side. Done. Allied movement phase. Let's hide these trails. What are we going to do here? Try and help the Rangers out. I don't know what the rules are for these Rangers. They failed to dislodge the artillery. They failed in their attacks. So they stay there on, like, basically they're sitting, my understanding is they're sitting kind of on this little cliff here, waiting for help, and the Germans have just been sitting there waiting for them. So let's get some help for them. We'll move these guys up. Move those guys up. Okay. Let's put the engineers in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, just to hold. Go bring the tanks back. 1, 2. Let's hold them there for now. Let's clear my move marker so I know who's moved. Get the infantry to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get that tank. And that should be enough. That's a lot. Then we'll get the 2nd Division to drive towards Treviere. They'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to leave an enemy's Zoc. 1, 2, 3. It's actually half 2, 3, and it's no, don't pay the cost. Sorry, and then just into there, and then a half, 2.5, 3. Okay. I've probably got enough extra 2nd Division forces now to get 2 attacks. 1, 2, 3. Let's try and find, is there another armour unit sitting around that we can just borrow? 1st Division, if you don't mind. I'm going to go... 1st Division is going to move in there. They're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't pay to exit a zone of control, and then 5, 6 back in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're going to move down there. Okay. So trying to wipe out these units and hit this unit and then swing around and hit Treviere, which leaves Insignia Mare out in the west, which might be a concern. Yeah, sorry. I kind of just, I didn't plan it. I very rarely plan when I do live, unfortunately. We are currently, sorry, you're asking what day we're on. We're currently on the 8th of June, PM turn. So this runs until, the scenario starts on the AM turn on the 6th, and it runs until the 10th of June PM turn. So I've got 6 more turns left. 6 more turns left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, that sounds like too many. No, 14 turns, yeah. It runs till the... I've got 6 more turns left after this one. That's a long way to go in 6 turns. Which means I really have to smash open... I can probably swing around... I can swing... Look at this. Into there. Just like that. That's the plan. Yep. So I'm at GMT plus 10. So I'm at It's almost 11:45 now. So I'm going to wrap it after this video. Okay. Movement is kind of done. Don't want to move any further east. Actually, I can because I don't have to attack strong points, so we'll just nudge in there. We may as well move these guys because they can move and fire. I wouldn't mind keeping the second armoured together because they're a bit distinct. What's their range? Yeah, okay, they've just got them in range. That's good. 12, 12. Okay, doing all right with all of my artillery. All right, let's get to combat. And let's focus up here. So the Rangers attacking across the bluff. These guys attacking across the bluff. But these guys aren't. So they negate the -1 modifier. So I've got 8, 16 on 4, which is 4-1. No artillery. Combined arms. So 4-1, +1 for combined arms, -1 for... Actually, it's in the clear. They're in the clear, so it is actually no effect. So 4-1 +1, and a die roll of 4, 5. 4-1, 5 gives me a 1-step loss. All right, I'll take that loss. No combat here, but they have to soak it off. So I should have added to that. I forgot about my artillery. They will fire 3 or less, 2 or less, sorry. Nope, that's a no effect. Big combat here. So we've got 17, 24, 24, 34 on 4. Oh, crikey. No artillery. 34 on 4 is 5, 6, 7-1. Bit of overkill. No, 34 on 5 is 6-1. Combine arms negates the farmland. For 6-1. No. Oh, they don't have artillery, so I actually get another +1. I've got to remember that. If I bring artillery and they don't, I get another +1 modifier. So it's an optional +1 to my roll of 1. I will take the optional +1, make them retreat. They have to retreat into an enemy zone of control. It's the first time I think I've seen this. So if you retreat into an enemy zone of control, you suffer an additional step loss. And that's another German step loss. Yeah, sorry. Like I said, I just kind of I've been playing it. I thought I'd do a live playthrough. Yeah. Combat here. I've got 11, 21, 22, 23, 24. I'm going to add to that as much as I can. Second, 24, 25, 26, 27, 31, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. 37 on 5 is 7-1. 7-1, this could be important. They will boost it. 35 on 5, what was I up to? So 8 gives me 4-1. Combine arms negated by the terrain. So 4-1, no modifier. 4-1, 8 is a good result. It's a 2-step loss. So 1, and then they are replaced with an infantry breakdown company, just a company left. And they're eliminated. And that gives the Germans 2 infantry steps. Got to keep that one out of the way. All right. But no ground gain. All right, so we've got the 2nd Division hitting here. We've got 21, 24 on 1. I'm not going to spend artillery on that. They're going to be wiped out. It's funny. Excess odds make no difference. So it's still 7-1 +1, which is a 10, which is wipes them out. And that is an armor step loss and an advance. Now over here, the 1st Division, they're halved across the stream. Oh, actually I have to soak this off, so we'll soak that off just with that 2 or less. Nope. And then everything here will attack 10, 20, 30, no armor. 30 on 2. I guess we'll try and save. Do we bother? May as well. 5. 30 on 5 is 6 to 1. -1. Is 6 to 1. 5 is 1 step loss and 2. So they're wiped out. But I do take a step loss. And that was an infantry American step loss and a German armor step loss. All right. Okay, just grinding them back. Okay, and don't have to attack here. I can just, oh, it's 5 to 1. May as well, hey. 5 to 1, 6, 7, 8 to 1. They've got no artillery, so it's an optional +1. +1 for the engineers as well. 6, I'll take the 6, which is just wipes them out. And I can advance. So there's this road open as well. Alright, so, where were we? We are in the Allied Mechanized Movement. Hey, what's happened here? Press the button. Okay, Allied Mech Movement Phase. These guys. This is secondary radar cost. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these guys are going, and 5, 6. And these guys are going 1, 2, 3 to leave the ZOC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see I'm going for the back way around Isigny Semer, and that should really scare the Germans because they've got nothing to stop that move happening. They're just going to try and hold Trevier, okay, which is going to be interesting. Hey Todd, welcome. I saw your video about clipping the counters for Battle for Normandy. So Todd did a video where he had this massive pile. There's like, what, 2,400 counters in this game or something? And Todd just dumped them all out on the table. Check it out. There's also, I should have pointed it out, there's a really good series of videos by Counterattack. Let me share, because it's literally open. Check out this series of videos. That's the first one. He does a good sort of bit-by-bit playthrough. It's really helpful to help me get my head around the opening phases. And he's got nicely clipped counters, and he's playing with a physical copy as well. Yeah. All right, so that's the... Oh, wait, mech movement. Is it halved? I've forgotten. 10.5. Like I said, I'm likely to make these mistakes. Mech movement phase... move up, yellow can move up to half, blue can move full. So these guys moved 1, 2, 3. They've got to stop there. Okay. Yep. Geez. Okay, so I've got my headquarters and I've got an artillery sitting in Trevier defending it, and a company. These guys. Okay. Well, let's find out what happens. Germans flip their artillery. Then they move. They're going to come back into Isigny. Wow. Okay. How fast can I move? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Might be quicker to go cross country. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. They've got to exit a zone of control. 1, 2. Do I give up on Trevier? I think I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to cross the river. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try and get the artillery somewhere safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, get this company back across the river. Good defensive position if defending against the northwest, not for this first division guys coming around. I've got to get away from here, don't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they've moved. As have these guys. they will hold there for now. Oh, there's actually also a minimum range for artillery as well, so they can't sit too close. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they've moved. Now flak 1, 2, 3. They're going to try and hold just on that side of the river there. See what they can do to slow them down. These guys will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll just keep pulling back slowly, or fast. I don't know. I can pull back really quick. I can't. That reconnaissance unit is not going to be able to destroy them, so that's fine. The tank might when it arrives, but it's a fair way off. Yeah. This is still Todd. This is still the old. There's no new vassal version for. I've got the new version in front of me, but this is still the old vassal version because there's no new vassal for the new deluxe edition. Okay, so Germans worried, but not panicking just yet. That's German movement. German artillery, they don't have anything that can fire. German mechanized movement, they don't have any mechanized units left. They're all dead. End of the phase. Advance a time marker. And that's the end of the day. So, folks, I'll wrap it up here. We're moving into the 9th. So as I move the turn marker, you'll see all the reinforcements pop up. Hey, whoa! Okay, we don't actually get German reinforcements. Double checking that because they should not have popped up. Reinforcements. Only the US player receives reinforcements in this scenario. Yes. So the Germans will get some replacements this turn, which they could use around Trevier. That'd be good. But like I said, we've got the 1st Division now crossing this. I did get the new edition. Yep, I've got it in front of me. Doesn't seem to be too different. Just a couple of additions. I had the old edition as well. I had the 1st edition when it first came out and sold it. But yeah, it seems to be very similar. At least I've read the rules and I'm using this module from the 1st edition. Okay, the model's pretty good. You can see here these have 8 movement points because they've been motorized, so you can adjust that. Yeah, so looking over the battlefield, definitely looks like at the end of the 8th of June, the Germans have kind of broken. There's gaps in their lines. This big gap here. It's only a secondary road, so it's sort of slow moving through here. But that is a path to Signy, Semer. I think this is going to be the problem for the Americans. They've now got 6 turns to capture this. I think Trevier will fall. 1st Division swinging around, combining with 2nd Division. They can't actually combine. They'll have to attack separately, but there's no barrier from the east here. So I think the Americans need to race for Signy. I think they need to get maybe 2nd Division and this armour. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be an entire turn to get to there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a second turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A third turn. It's going to be... It could be a race against time. But I think they really need to start putting their feet down. And pushing for it. Ignoring, basically. Bring their infantry back down and around on the highway. Pushing through here. That's got to be 29th Division's focus. I might bring these units down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, yeah, I can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Attack here. Get that strong point out of the way and just drive. Once I get these out of the way, that's 6 steps there. That's going to be tough. They need to hit there, combine with the forces coming around from the south, and leave Trevier for the 1st Division. Okay, Americans are going first, so the 1st Division will be able to block these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. They'll be able to block these reinforcements coming, so that these 352nd Division units won't be able to get into Trevier. This is the first scenario, yeah, so it's a bit of a learning scenario. As I said, learning the game, quite possibly making mistakes. Yeah, where is it? Down here. Yeah, so it's a good learning scenario. You don't have to worry about air. You don't have to worry about naval forces. I've just been kind of checking things as I go. I will continue soon. So that is, like I said, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 turns in, 6 to go of the 14-turn scenario. Check out Counterattack. Like I said, they did a full playthrough. All right, folks. Yeah, Sicily version in development, apparently. It could be many years away. Thanks for